Hi greedy 3Ders, today we're taking a look at the Anycubic K3 V2 combo, also known as the Kobra 3 version 2. This is Anycubic's latest attempt at a low price, fast, feature-packed multicolor bed slinger printer that promises plug and play simplicity with pro level performance, but does it actually deliver, or is it a case of printer overhype? Stay tuned. So this is the version 2. Let's see what's the difference between this and the original Kobra 3. It's got a wider Y-axis for better levelling accuracy, upgraded bearings on the X-axis for smoother movement, an improved nozzle design to minimise filament leakage. The camera is built in and it's standard, it was optional on the K3. The build volume is 4% larger and native support for up to 8 colours using 2 Ace Pro units. Before I delve deeper in the review, I'm going to put it right out at the start that this 3D printer is cheap. With the Ace Pro included, it's an amazing £339. But without the Ace Pro as a standalone printer, it's only £239. Now when I refer you to some of the negatives of this machine, and yes, there will be some negatives, I'm going to remind you of that price. Just saying. When you crack open the cardboard box it arrives in, the first impression is good. The printer comes very well packaged in thick foam and thankfully mostly pre-assembled. You just need to cut a few cable ties, attach the resin poop cutter, attach the screen, connect a couple of cables, and you're basically ready to go. All the screws are included in well-labelled bags and you get a couple of spanners and some Allen keys also included so you don't have to go a-hunting. Step-by-step assembly is well documented in the laid out manual, and if I'm honest, it was a little bit fiddly at times, especially with my fat fingers, but perfectly doable to the patient beginner. I did need to use the included spanners to tighten up the gantry mechanism as it was a little bit wobbly, but the instruction book talks you through the setup and includes this as part of your final checks, which again is easy to follow and thorough. The Kobra 3's capacitive touchscreen is functional and pretty average, to be honest, and I'm talking 1990s Nokia phone where 3 letters sit on one key press average. At 4.3 inches though, it's easy enough for basic controls and does the job it's meant to. Point of note, some users report missed touches or freezing, which often ties back to loose ribbon cable connections, so make sure you insert it properly and the right way up on setup. While it covers all the essentials, print management, calibration and settings etc., the UI buries advanced options and lacks polish compared to higher end machines. In short, it works like a 90s Nokia phone worked, but it won't win any modern tech awards. But again, remember that price of the Kobra V3. It's not an expensive printer. On startup, the K3 runs its Levy Q3 auto levelling routine along with the usual vibration calibration, so it can tune itself without much input from you at all. That feels very polished for a printer of this price range. It did seem to poop a lot of PLA poop, maybe that's just me, but it did seem a tad excessive and it did leave a string of melted PLA that dragged over the plate. Now if you look closely, there is a little bit of a gap between the bottom of the nozzle and the top of the magnetic poopy scoopy removal device. That could be responsible for the little string that I saw, but also if there is a little bit of PLA left on the nozzle, that could affect the levelling procedure. Now mine has levelled absolutely perfectly, so I'm just putting it out there for something you need to maybe just keep an eye on. Under the hood, the K3 V2 is still a bed slinger, but with upgraded X and Y axis, so uses SG15 bearings for smoother motion. It supports a maximum nozzle temperature of 300 degrees centigrade and comes with a standard 0.4mm nozzle, with optional 0.6 and 0.8mm and options available from Anycubic website. The bed is flexible. It's PEI spring steel with a magnetic base for easy popping off of prints, with a maximum temperature of 110 degrees. Adhesion is strong on the double-sided rough build plate, but there's no insulation under the heater, so it takes a little bit longer to get up to temperature. Now, Anycubic claims print speeds of up to 600mm per second are possible, but in reality you're going to get the best results in the 200 to 300 range. Push it too hard and you'll see ringing and a loss of detail, and that's no different from any other bed slinger. Maximum acceleration is 20,000mm per second squared, but again, drop it back to 10,000mm per second for best results. So yes, big numbers are more marketing than reality in day-to-day use. Now let's talk about what makes the combo version special, the Ace Pro module. This is Anycubic's answer to multicolor printing, and it's not just a color switcher, it's also stated as a filament dryer and feeder, which is a nice touch. With a single Ace Pro you can run 4 colors, and if you add a second one you can push that to 8. Spool switching is automatic and it can keep your filament dry, although there are some arguments that it doesn't allow vapor to escape, so absorbent gel may help here. Now, the assembly held no mysteries and the instruction manual was again concise. A couple of leads to be connected, plug in the 4 Bowden tubes to both the Ace Pro and the printer, do a little bit of cable management with the clips that they send you, and you are done. It really is as simple as that. The K3 V2 runs on Anycubic's closed ecosystem, which means you're locked into their Kobra OS and the Anycubic slicer next. It's based on Orca slicer, so looks familiar, which is good. You can also control the printer via the really handy Anycubic app, which was a doddle to set the printer up on my mobile phone. Now I can send prints, I can stop prints, I can control the printer, and I can view the onboard camera, which means from the comfort of my armchair I can see what's going on the printer. Now, speaking of the camera, the combo kit does come with a USB controlled camera. The only thing that it doesn't come with is a casing, but on the USB file you will find a STL file for the casing. So the first print on here is not a Benchy, it's going to be the camera casing. Now, I printed this in a cream PLA and it printed absolutely perfectly, and I connected it into the camera so it all went together really well. The only thing I would say as a bit of advice, I'd print this in something a little bit stronger than PLA, maybe some ABS or some PETG, as some of the clips did break off, but a little bit of super glue solved the problem, and now, hey presto, I have a 720p camera. I can also view what's going on the printer on Anycubic Slicer Next as well, so I can sit at my computer and see what's going on in the next room, or in my case in the man cave. You can also see on your mobile phone from anywhere you are with a connection. So let's talk about the actual printing, but just before we do that I want to just show you this reel of Anycubic PLA that I popped into the Ace Pro. Now, using Anycubic's own PLA is great because it's RFID tagged and you don't have to tell the printer what colour it is, etc. But mine had got what looks like a bit of a potential problem looming there, where it looks like it's going to knot. What I did do is I took it back out and I unravelled it about 10 meters or so, and then I wrapped it back up again. But that is a little bit of a worry that was there in a brand new PLA roll. Just thought I'd mention that for completeness. Now, normally my first print, but today my second print is of course the Benchy, and I've got to say it's turned out okay. There's a little bit of ringing on it, but you know what, 14-minute Benchy on a bed slinger, I've got no real problems with that. The quality is very nice, it's smooth on the whole, no stringing, all the overhangs are printed wonderfully. As a Benchy goes, that's pretty darn good. Next I swapped to some different kind of PLA. This is PLA Plus from Inslogic. Just popped it into the Ace Pro, told the printer on the screen that it was PLA and it was red, and printed the little shark off the USB stick. And again, let's have a little look at the quality of that. As you can see, it's printed beautifully, there's no stringing, everything is wonderful. The base layers have gone on just beautiful. Look at that bottom, beautiful, all good, no dramas at all using this PLA on the printer. Next, something a little bit more adventurous. I'm going to use this Deadpool STL that I just popped into the slicer, and I sent it across wirelessly to the printer after I'd sliced it all up, so no jumping backwards and forwards with a USB stick required. Sent it across wirelessly and let it print. It took a few hours to print, as you would expect, of course you would, but happy to say that using the Inslogic PLA has made a beautiful job of old Deadpool. And once I've got the brim off, look at the detail on that. That's absolutely beautiful. That's on a bed slinger, so that's been flinging itself around, and I can't fault that. For a printer of this cost, I cannot fault the quality that I'm getting on that print. Just look at the detail. To test the multicolor printing capabilities of the Kobra 3 version 2, I'm going to do this, what looks like an evil Santa Claus, and I'm quite happy to say that apart from it looking like it's going to possess the house, it's printed absolutely fine. It's got all the colours in there. I can't see any bleeding. Looks nice. Multicolour printing is something that it's not something I use an awful lot, and the reason that I don't use it an awful lot is there's a lot of waste product when you're printing in multi-prints due to the amount of poop that is produced during the process. This is a natural thing, and this isn't aimed at the Kobra 3 at all, but just look at the amount of poop that one model has created. And if we have a look at an 18-gram model, you will not believe the amount of poop that just on standard settings this has created. Look at that, 147 grams. That is just incredible, an absolute waste of filament. I don't do multicolour printing normally. Happy to say in the latest update you can now change the amount of poop that is created in the slicer. Anycubic have addressed this. I didn't touch anything, I just used basic settings, but if you want to twiddle with it, you can now do so in the slicer. So if multicolour printing is your thing, at least you've got some control of the amount of poop waste that's created. But the model itself printed beautiful. Now, nothing is perfect, of course, and despite many strengths, the K2 exhibits a few frustrating issues in use. Firmware problems are often raised by the community. Updates have been known to introduce bugs that in some cases have rendered the machines unusable. In transparency, I haven't found this to be the case, and I've upgraded this now twice, but Google it and plenty of other folks have experienced it. The distance of the cleaning slide from the nozzle means filament residue sometimes gets dragged onto print parts, harming detail and surface finish, generating more waste, and there's always a slight possibility of interfering with the auto levelling. The touchscreen, as I've said before, is a little chunky, low res and ye olde, but it's functional nonetheless. There's a few cables that lie around my machine, so good cable management needs implementing by the user, or it can look a little bit unsightly like mine. The K3 V2 stands out as a well-rounded 3D printer that combines user-friendliness with reliable performance, and an option for a heated multicolour printing solution at a very reasonable price point makes it more appealing. For me, it has delivered consistent print quality and is accessible enough for newcomers to the hobby, while still offering enough flexibility for the more experienced users to feel at home. There's a strong balance of affordability, build quality and ease of operation, and that makes it a dependable choice for hobbyists for everyday printing projects. Overall, it provides great value for anyone looking to explore 3D printing without breaking the bank. Drop a comment in if you have a good or bad experience using the Anycubic Kobra or any of the Anycubic machines. This printer in particular, it'll be good to hear your experiences. It's good to share what you feel and what you have experienced. If you feel that the K3 V2 is for you, then I'd appreciate you using my affiliate link in the description. That won't cost you a penny more or a cent more, but will net me a small commission in the process and help me to continue this little channel. If you like the content, please hit the subscribe button, like and share also. And if you want any details regarding the Greedy 3D Patreon, yes, we do have a Patreon, then all the information you need will be in the description. And I want to say a great big thank you to my existing Patreons. Right, I'm off to tidy up my wires and enjoy some 3D printing on my Kobra 3 version 2, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching.